Oprah's coming to Channel 8, beginning Monday, September 6th.
Two Detroit cops found guilty of murdering a black drug suspect. The CIA and JFK with the spy agency knew about the assassination. And Hurricane Andrew a year later. The winds are gone, but the pain remains.
This is NBC Nightly News with Tom Brokaw.
Good evening. This was a trial that had echoes of the Rodney King case, but for two former Detroit policemen, the consequences tonight are much greater. They were convicted today of second-degree murder in the beating death of a black suspect. Another ex-cop was acquitted. NBC's Jim Cummins now on the trial. Chris Hansen on the Detroit reaction.
Be seated in courtroom, please.
It was high drama in the Detroit courtroom as two juries, predominantly black, and a black judge, announced their verdicts in the trials of three white police officers, Larry Nevers and Walter Budson, charged with murdering Malice Green, and Robert Lesnow, charged with assault the night Green was beaten to death outside a crack house.
People of the state of Michigan versus Walter Budson, defendant, guilty, murder in the second degree murder.
Nevers jury finds the defendant guilty, murder second degree.
People of the state of Michigan versus Robert Lesnow, not guilty.
Nevers was obviously shaken by the verdict. Budson appeared stoic. Both could get life in prison for their crimes. The two veteran cops were known as Starsky and Hutch in the city's high-crime neighborhoods the night they stopped Green last November, suspecting he possessed some drugs. A parade of witnesses testified the two beat Green repeatedly on the head with a police flashlight. Nevers admitted he did strike Green 5 or 6 times.
I was afraid that he would get my gun out and possibly use it against me or my partner.
But the autopsy determined Green died of at least 14 blows to the head. Budson insisted he didn't do it.
I never struck that man.
The lawyers for Nevers and Budson repeatedly attacked the credibility of prosecution witnesses, especially those with criminal records. Defense lawyers also tried to show that cocaine and alcohol contributed to Green's death. Neither jury bought that. Both concluded Green was beaten to death. But minutes after the verdict was announced, the only white juror in Budson's trial who wanted to be identified as Carl said he disagreed with the verdict but went along with it because he was under duress from the other jurors.
The difficulty was I didn't think it was proven as far as intent was not proven.
Prosecutors said Carl had his chance to speak out.
If he was under duress, certainly he wasn't at the point where he's in open court and being asked if that was his verdict. As you said, it was his verdict.
Nevers and Budson remain free on bond, and they will probably be sentenced in October. Their lawyers plan to appeal. Jim Cummins, NBC News, reporting.
Guilty.
This is Chris Hansen in Detroit. There were cheers outside the courthouse today as officers Larry Nevers and Walt Budson were convicted of second-degree murder. And at the spot where Malice Green died, which has been turned into a shrine, hundreds gathered, including Green's sisters.
We're not satisfied with personal violence.
You want these officers
off the streets?
Off the streets in jail?
Yes.
There is still a feeling of outrage that a black man died at the hands of two white officers. Many this afternoon were angry Nevers and Budson are out on bond until sentencing. A local minister was trying to keep the situation from boiling over.
What are we going to accomplish by burning up, blowing up police cars? That don't make any sense. We're here to keep peace. That's what we're all about, to advocate peace.
Most police officers in this town are shy about giving their feelings in public. Many, though, feel Nevers and Budson were scapegoats. They point out they were struggling with a man who was high on cocaine. Nevers' defense attorney says a good cop is being turned into a convict.
He has, as the judge pointed out, put in 24 and a half years into this city. And in a matter of 5 minutes, his entire career has now gone down the tube, so to speak.
City officials here are hoping for a quiet night. They say the juries reflected the makeup of the city and reached fair verdicts. Right now, police seem to be keeping their distance as people react. Chris Hansen, NBC News, Detroit.
At the same time today, there was first testimony in another explosive case, the Reginald Denny beating trial in Los Angeles. Two blacks accused of beating the white truck driver. A woman driving through the riot area the day that Denny was beaten said the blacks were singling out white drivers. News today on the assassination of President Kennedy 30 years ago this November. Stacks of secret CIA files on the investigation were made public in Washington. No bombshells, but plenty to plow through. There to do that for us today was Tom Pettit, who reported from Dallas for NBC News 30 years ago.
The thousands of documents do show that the CIA was deeply involved in the assassination investigation. Nothing of any other CIA involvement so far. The CIA did hold back another 10,000 pages of ultra-secret material that will be given to a presidential review board. After waiting in line for numbers, reporters and researchers were left grasping for straws in the voluminous material released today. One file from 1963. KGB defector tells CIA the assassination may have been planned by the KGB, but no evidence. The CIA did serious investigating, proving Oswald was on the manifest of a bus trip from Mexico City to Dallas under the name H.O. Lee. But we already knew that. From inside the Soviet Union, it found blurred photos of Oswald and his wife Marina. Oswald had defected to Russia in 1959. We knew that, too. Marina Oswald Porter, Oswald's Russian-born widow, thinks the Kennedy investigation should be reopened.
I know Lee did not do it. Somebody else did.
But of the assassination itself in Dallas, of the national nightmare that resulted, and the murder of Oswald by Jack Ruby in the police station, there is no new light, at least so far. This collection of 800,000 documents at the National Archives contains previously declassified material from the Warren Commission, the FBI, and congressional investigators. One of them is Robert Blakey, a Notre Dame law professor.
There's nothing new in here that I have not seen or read before.
And some ordinary people have their curiosity aroused.
I didn't really expect anything, to see any glaring thing.
I'm talking mafia, exiles, some CIA, maybe some generals. I think that they, in turn, killed Kennedy.
About all the ultra-secret stuff still held back by the CIA, it will be submitted to a presidential review board as soon as the White House appoints one. In any event, all those conspiracy theories will go on and on. Tom Pettit, NBC News, Washington.
When Nightly News continues in a moment, the Mars Observer, still silent, its billion-dollar mission in deep trouble. And from the deep, a Nazi war relic and its mystery cargo.
I hit the floor at 9 a.m. and I'm going non-stop till we close. That's why I fix a dent and forget it.
An all-night shift and 5 cups of coffee, no problem. Now I fix a dent and forget it.
Even in the hottest liquids, when other adhesives stop holding, Fix-A-Dent holds stronger and longer.
Why not? Now that he switched to Fix-A-Dent, he can go from morning till night and still eat like that.
For the strongest, longest hold, Fix-A-Dent and forget it.
With all I've got to do, I can't afford a sleepless night. So when I feel I can't sleep, I take Maximum Strength Nitol. It's safe and it works fast, and that means a better night's sleep.
Get to sleep in minimum time with Maximum Strength Nitol.
When what you eat and drink gives your stomach a surprise, you want a medicine that works directly on your stomach. Pepto-Bismol. As it coats, Pepto delivers powerful medicine right where you hurt. Pepto-Bismol.
NASA has had better days. Ground controllers are frantically tonight trying to reestablish contact with the nation's newest weather satellite, which was launched just 2 weeks ago. Even more embarrassing, however, for NASA, silence from its billion-dollar Mars Observer, which is due to go into orbit around the red planet tomorrow. More tonight from NBC's George Lewis.
Ground controllers have been beaming radio signals at the observer, trying to get it to respond. They now believe the problem could be the failure of a circuit in an onboard computer, which has shut down communications with the spacecraft.
The central timing source in the spacecraft, called the redundant crystal oscillator, provides the timing for all of the spacecraft computers and the timing for decoding of commands. Yes, you could say the clock is stuck.
The computers on board the spacecraft, like ordinary personal computers, have internal clocks which control the way they handle information. If the clocks fail, the computers fail. The observer has a backup computer which ground controllers are trying to turn on at this moment. If that fails, the spacecraft will probably not fire its rockets to go into the correct orbit around Mars, heading into deep space instead. That critical maneuver is scheduled for tomorrow afternoon.
If we can't accomplish that objective, then there's nothing for the spacecraft to do. The mission is essentially over.
and lift off.
NASA has a lot riding on this mission. This is the first spacecraft sent to Mars in 17 years, and the plan is for it to produce far more scientific data than previous missions. Among the tasks, to make a detailed map of the Martian surface and measure the planet's gravity and magnetic fields. All that and almost $1 billion could be lost if the observers' problems aren't solved. George Lewis, NBC News, Los Angeles.
Back here on Earth, the tailhook controversy widens. A new Navy inquiry begins next Monday into those charges of sexual harassment at the 1991 Las Vegas Convention of Navy and Marine pilots. It's the fourth government investigation so far. As NBC's John Dancy reports, now some critics are calling it an investigative mess.
A Pentagon report says the Las Vegas Convention 2 years ago turned into a drunken party with women sexually assaulted by Navy and Marine conventioneers. Even so, the Navy and Marine Corps have found it all but impossible to bring successful criminal prosecutions. Congressional critics say shoddy investigative work by the Pentagon is most to blame. Take the case of Marine Captain Gregory Bonham last week. Lieutenant Paula Coughlin testified that Bonham was the one who grabbed her and forced his hands inside her blouse in a hallway crowded with other flyers. But Coughlin testified that the man who grabbed her had on a burnt orange T-shirt. Bonham's lawyers were able to show pictures of him at the convention wearing a green and black shirt with his nickname on it.
I did not touch her, I did not assault her, I did not witness any kind of assault on her.
One congressional critic of the Navy's investigation said today if these guys had investigated Jack the Ripper would have gone free. A former Pentagon official says the investigation was botched.
They should have resorted to a special counsel, somebody from outside, or turned it right over to the Justice Department to begin with. But by trying to do within the Navy and within the Pentagon, they ended up with the worst of all possible worlds.
Some in Congress are angry at the way the investigation has been handled. A key Senate aide tells NBC News that Congress will likely hold hearings on the whole Pentagon investigative process. John Dancy, NBC News, Washington.
In Mobile, Alabama tonight, the investigation continues into the weekend murder of an abortion doctor. Dr. George Wayne Patterson was gunned down in the city's nightclub district Saturday as he returned to his car. No indication at all that it was abortion-related, however. Patterson is part owner of 4 abortion clinics. There is a welcome medical note tonight. The surviving Siamese twin, Angela Lakeberg, remains in critical but stable condition in a Philadelphia hospital. Very active, say her doctors. Her color, nice and pink. When we return, Hurricane Andrew, 1 year later. Things may never be the same.
Come on, stop. I'm begging you. I mean, what is this? Not just one plane flake, but count them. I'm overwhelmed. What? All right, so I'm doing a 180 here. It's simple. That's good. Crunches. Yeah, I could go for them. Okay? Okay.
Kellogg's Corn Flakes.
Kellogg's Corn Flakes. You know you're killing me, right? Kellogg's Corn Flakes. Funny guy.
Taste them again for the first time.
Why Centrum Silver? Because you're over 50 and you're just hitting your stride. Centrum Silver vitamins. Because the latest scientific research about changing nutritional needs after 50 is built in. Centrum Silver. It's a great time to be silver.
Why make a whole pot at the office? Try Folgers Coffee Singles, made with ground roast coffee and its own filter for one freshly brewed cup. Folgers Coffee Singles, the ultimate one-cup coffee machine.
Oh, guys, my commercial. Listen. Wheat Thins from Nabisco. So much wheat, so smart to eat. Intelligent crackers. Wheat Thins pack a ton of hearty taste into a little snack that's smart to eat. See, that's smart. With a big crunch baked through it. Sounds very snackable. You are deliciously correct, oh maternal one. Wheat Thins, the smart little snack that's big on taste. You couldn't have said it better yourself. Zap!
They welcomed him into their lives. Get out. Now they can't get rid of him. Joanna Kearns. See you soon. The Nightman on NBC Tonight.
Tomorrow morning on Today, newly released CIA documents on the JFK assassination.
Plus back-to-school fashions for kids, so join us tomorrow morning.
And see what a difference today makes.
Weather watchers can relax for now. Hurricane Greg is heading slowly northward in the Pacific well east of Hawaii, posing no current threat. Off Mexico, 2 other storms have also pulled in their horns. Hillary, no longer a hurricane, but a tropical storm now, and Irwin, a mere tropical depression. Just a year ago, this was the satellite view of what became the nation's costliest natural disaster, Hurricane Andrew. August 24th, 1992, a fury of wind and destruction that changed the face of South Florida. At least 35 people killed, $30 billion in damage. NBC's Robert Hager returned to the area where the trauma for many residents has yet to end.
The wind was ferocious, gusts over 200 miles an hour. By dawn, pictures of devastation. Trailer parks with every last trailer blown apart. Apartment buildings with walls peeled off. Some later called this one Little Beirut. With more than 100,000 homeless, the Army put up tent cities. But many resisted leaving mangled houses. Tarpaulin covered Jack Branch's damaged roof. The back room where Branch slept was exposed to the elements, but he and his mother vowed they'd never move out.
12 months later, life is still far from normal here in South Florida. People still struggling to restore or replace their shattered homes and businesses and rebuild their shattered lives.
Debris is still everywhere, although 500,000 tons have already been taken away and piled at what locals call Mount Trashmore, the equivalent of 30 years worth of normal trash for the area. $15 billion in insurance has been paid, $4 billion more in federal money. But with contractors hard to find and hard to trust, 4,000 complaints have been filed. Home after home is still either under repair or abandoned. 57,000 people have left the area. Remember Little Beirut? Here's what it looks like today. Upper floors still without walls. Those trailer parks that were wiped out, authorities have permitted many to be replaced with, guess what? More trailers, vulnerable to new storms. And the tent cities? They've given way to temporary government housing, cramped RVs, where families like Regina and Raul Snows have been cooped up for a year, with affordable dwellings desperately short. They've been unable to find an apartment until just now.
It's so hard, it's so inconvenient because everything is just like packed tight in here.
Kathy McDonald's been in tight quarters as well, along with her daughter and 2 sons. She has a fine home to move back to, but while its soaked interior is being replaced, she's been living in a trailer too alongside.
Kind of give you an idea on how things can get pretty cramped. This is all our household stuff that really couldn't quite fit in the trailers.
This Legion Hall has been home since the storm for Gary Warden. Warden's permanent residence was blown away.
The trailer sat right here. The main entrance was someplace in here.
And now it's weeds.
Now it's weeds. It's all gone.
But remember Jack Branch's house with a tarp for a roof? Finally, it's just now getting a new roof, and Gary Warden has bought it and will move in. Jack Branch and his mother, who swore they'd never leave, said they couldn't afford to fix it up. They moved to a trailer, but they're not happy.
It's just a place to live. It's a place to sleep.
I don't like it real well. It's not home.
With 12,000 still in temporary housing, recovery will take much longer than authorities once promised. Some doubt it will ever be complete. Robert Hager, NBC News, Homestead, Florida.
And this year's disaster, the Midwestern floods, slow recovery going on there as well. Today, for the first time in almost 2 months, barges are moving south again on the Mississippi between Minneapolis and Cairo, Illinois. But traffic northward remains suspended. Floodwaters have receded, but they're still 16 feet above normal. And Wall Street today receded from last week's high water mark. Trading today, however, was active. When we come back in a moment, the war in Bosnia, its impact on the environment there.
My baloney has a first name. It's O-S-C-A-R. My baloney has a second name. It's M-A-Y-E-R. Hey, I love to eat it every day. And if you ask me why, I'll say...
You could give your kids a bologna made from less than 100% pure beef or one with fillers. The question is, why would you?
'Cause Oscar Mayer has a way with B-O-L-O-G-N-A.
Today, Dave Ryan will understand the benefits of a little extra protection. Today, Brady Blackwell will come to appreciate a shatter-resistant shampoo bottle. Today, for the first time in years, Sheena Connor's grandpa will be able to walk with less pain. Today will be a better day for a lot of people, simply because of a material we call plastic.
It's Red Lobster's Lobster Fest.
Grab the gang and head on down to a swinging lobster party. It's the talk of the town. Main tail, how you dip 'em.
Red Lobster.
How you love 'em. You don't need brass bands. Oh, you'll have fun just using your hands.
New combinations like you've never had before, all at special prices.
The lobster's just the best at Red Lobster's Lobster Fest.
The party's over in a few weeks,
so don't miss it. Red Lobster's Lobster Fest.
Ask her, Jerry, how long it took to pick out our Armstrong floor.
2 weeks.
Months.
Oh, but we can wash it in half the time with Armstrong no-rinse floor cleaner.
Look, the leading cleaner is about 20% oil. That can leave a sticky residue you have to rinse off. But with Armstrong, there's no sticky residue, no rinsing.
Totally clean in half the time.
More time to play!
Outside.
Armstrong Clean in half the time.
She's the only woman this military school ever accepted. So why are they fighting to keep her out? Storming the Citadel.
An all-new Dateline NBC.
Tuesday. At the State Department today, another resignation, the fourth in the past year, protesting U.S. policy in Bosnia. Stephen Walker, a career Foreign Service officer, said he was fed up with what he called a diplomatic process that legitimizes genocide and aggression. In the Bosnian capital, among the many casualties of the civil war, one which has not gotten much attention, and that's the environment. NBC's Jim Maceda has more tonight.
First, the trees went. Now it's the stumps, roots, anything that will burn. This Bosnian Muslim walked with his son for 2 miles, fully exposed to Serb artillery, in search of fuel. No one knows what the long-term damage will be, but already the siege has raped the once lush city.
The denuding of trees is causing landslides around the city. Some buildings have been completely destroyed. It's potentially as bad as the shelling.
Another problem, garbage. With no one to pick it up, it is strewn everywhere, shocking the senses of Ademir Kenovic, a filmmaker who knew the old Sarajevo.
And this, it was always very clean around. All this garbage, nobody's collecting it.
But it's picked so clean for scraps of food, disease hasn't spread. The outside world predicted that civil war would turn Sarajevo into an environmental disaster. Instead, it's become an experiment in adapting to crisis and disproving the experts. With only 10 water distribution sites for a population of almost 400,000, many must wash in and draw water from the river.
Cases of diarrhea and some of hepatitis. The more serious diseases have not cropped up.
One reason, with factories shut, chemical waste no longer flows into Sarajevo's river, now cleaner than it's been for years. But Kenovic says it's the Bosnians' habit of good hygiene that's prevented a health catastrophe.
It is a miracle that people are not dead of all possible diseases.
Still, without fresh water soon, or fuel to boil it, health experts say Sarajevans will not resist waterborne disease, and a typhoid epidemic could come with winter. Jim Maceda, NBC News, Sarajevo.
In South Africa tonight, a commission investigating military prison camps run by the African National Congress in the 1980s says the ANC routinely abused and tortured inmates. Among those implicated, Chris Hani, the South African Communist Party leader who was assassinated in April. ANC leader Nelson Mandela said he's taking this report very seriously. When Nightly News continues in a moment, secrets from the deep in a newly recovered Nazi U-boat.
We dreamed about a vacation in Hawaii, then diarrhea nearly ruined it. So I bought Imodium AD. It works better than others, often in one dose. Our diarrhea was gone, and we had a great time.
Imodium AD, the original prescription for one-dose relief. Athlete's foot grows just beneath the surface of your skin, so that's where you have to get to cure it. Mycotin penetrates the skin surface with miconazole and kills the annoying fungus right where it starts. Mycotin penetrates, Mycotin cures.
Ironic, isn't it? While 70% of our globe is ocean, many people don't have enough water to drink. And until recently, there really was no practical way to turn seawater into abundant, pure drinking water. But now, from the Canary Islands to the Caribbean to communities right here in the United States where fresh water is scarce, Dow technology is making it possible to propose this toast. Here's to your health.
Dow lets you do great things.
A woman is different than a man. Her system is 3 times as likely to become irregular. Correctol is the woman's gentle laxative that works predictably overnight.
No wonder more women trust it.
Correctol, the woman's gentle laxative.
Put traction into action because Goodyear Traction is on sale now. Save on selected Goodyear Eagle Performance tires, selected Goodyear Wranglers for light trucks and vans, and save on every all-season Goodyear Aquatread. Save now at Goodyear.
It was my first serious dinner at his family's. So much food.
This is Greg's favorite dish.
And my first serious heartburn. Excuse me. And I learned some things.
Oh, no, these are different. Tums has calcium.
Most antacids don't. Of all these, the only one that helps wipe out heartburn and gives you calcium you need every day is Tums.
Something my body needs anyway. I like that.
Calcium-rich Tums.
Drunk in a bar, she passed out. 5 men had sex with her.
I remember nothing.
Was it rape? Tom Brokaw, Katie Couric, now NBC Wednesday.
A piece of wartime history came to light today in the waters off eastern Denmark when a World War II German U-boat was raised from the depths. That war seems so long ago, and then today, this ghostly reminder for the men who survived it. NBC's Dennis Murphy tonight.
Nazi U-boat 534 broke the surface today, 48 years after it was bombed and sunk. The anti-aircraft guns looked ready to fire. Fantastic shape, said the Dutch and Danish salvagers as they hosed off 18 inches of muck caked to the deck. U-boats were targets for British bombers. On May 5th, 1945, 2 days before the German surrender, U-534 was blown up while making a run for it. Hitler was already dead. The rest of the submarine fleet scuttled by the Allies. During the war, the Nazi U-boats had sunk 2,000 Allied ships. One of the last of those subs, U-534, had settled in a deep crevice in the seabed between Denmark and Sweden. A 255-foot ship, the class of vessels the Nazis used to ship valuable cargo and secret documents on the long-haul run to its ally, Japan. Divers were exuberant to find hatches, torpedo tubes, all in remarkably good shape. There is still gray paint on the hull. It's believed 6 tons of torpedoes and ammunition are still on board. The crew of 52 abandoned ship. 3 died later from injuries. Today, some of those German survivors swapped stories about escaping through the torpedo hatch. Neville Baker of Ohio was the navigator on the British bomber that sank the U-boat.
I was introduced as the man who dropped the bomb, and right away he goes, ooh, ooh, ooh. I'm glad it was just his finger. I didn't know what was going to come.
Salvagers are speculating tonight about hidden Nazi loot. But until naval experts explore the sub, its secrets remain locked inside. Dennis Murphy, NBC News, London.
That's Nightly News for Monday.